Plaintiff Kimberly Reed has known the defendant's father for 30 years. Kimberly claims she agreed to give a bedroom set to the defendant in exchange for the defendant painting her home. But he never did the work, so she's suing. Defendant Daniel Glisson says on the day he agreed to paint Kimberly's home, he showed up to do the work, but Kimberly overslept and didn't answer the door. Therefore, he denies owing.
Start with you.
I'd first like to explain the relationship that I have with Daniel. It's actually more so with his father, Walter, business relationship. He was my mother's painter for probably 30 years. And a lot of the times when Walter would paint, he had his two sons with him, Daniel being one of them. What I'm suing him for is I had done a trade with him for some furniture that I was selling, and he was supposed to give me a day's worth of painting and touch-up work, and to date, I still have the paint cans sitting in my hallway.
Okay. Sir, let me hear from you.
Well, everything she said is pretty spot on, but, you know, we went to set up the dates for the to complete the painting, and it just kind of got pushed aside. And then
By who?
There was no set time until the end.
To the end of what?
The discussion that we had. December 13th was the day that we decided to do it, and then I showed up.
Well, all right. Well, there was a set time, December 13th.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, you've been just saying there was no set date.
Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead. So.
Well, I showed up and she never answered her phone, and I have a voicemail from her saying that she overslept.
You never spoke with her again other than that?
No, because there was a lot of back and forth that went on before that. She originally told me that that she wanted the deal done in the evening because that's all that would work with her work schedule.
Okay.
And I couldn't do that. You know, we went to set up the dates for to complete the painting, and it just kind of got pushed aside. And then
By who?
There was no set time until the end.
To the end of what?
Defendant Daniel Glisson is being sued because the plaintiff claims he agreed to paint her home in exchange for a bedroom set. But Daniel never showed up to do the work.
So you all weren't going to do it at all then, at that point?
Well, yeah, and then she contacted my dad, and they set up this date of December 13th.
Okay. You never agreed to do anything until she contacted your dad, and they set up the date of December 13th.
Correct.
That was the only solid date you all ever had.
Correct.
And at that time, she overslept when you
Yeah.
came.
Yeah, I have a voicemail.
And so you left how long after waiting?
About 30 minutes.
All right. Did you knock at the door?
No, it was a building. There's no door.
How were you expected to get in?
Well, I would contact her, and she would let me in.
Is there a guard at the front
I don't know.
desk?
I never went into the building.
Oh, you were just told, she said, when you come, call me.
Yeah.
On my cell phone.
He
Yeah,
sat
that
in
was
his
the
truck and texted
agreement.
me, Your Honor, and I have a lot more backup.
He kept texting you?
Yeah, he's a texter.
Okay.
He would never call, and if I can back up, this all transpired because my mother passed away in January of 2017. I had moved from Naperville back down to the city into a two-bedroom, so I was storing a lot of my things at her house. We hired Walter, and Dan was there to remove some wallpaper and to do some painting. My brother and I showed up the beginning of March to pay him, and I happened to mention to his father that I'm selling some things. I had a patio set, and he said, oh, Dan was interested in that bedroom set upstairs. And I said, that's mine. And I have pictures of it if you'd like to see it as well.
That's it, and that's what you were trading for him to do the painting. But then he says, it sounds like you prohibited him from fulfilling that agreement. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it, but I couldn't because you overslept.
No, Your Honor, I've got text messages from March of...
Tell me first.
I will.
No, we're talking December 13th, aren't we?
No, that's December 13th of 2018. My mom passed away in
No, I'm talking about the day he was supposed to come and paint. What date was that?
December 13th.
There you go. Now let's stick with that. No.
Okay.
Let's stick with December 13th. Prior to December 13th, when is the last conversation you all had about him coming to paint in exchange for the furniture?
October.
All right. And is that when the date was set?
The date was set in October.
Okay, good. All right. And did you all have a time frame?
7 o'clock.
Okay. And what did happen?
He was supposed to come in. I told him I had registered him with the doorman to be able to come in. They would call me upon his arrival, send him into my building, and I've got a picture of the high-rise.
Let's see it, please.
He was supposed to have walked in. The doorman would have called me, let him into the building, and all he had to do was come in and knock on the door. I got up at 6 o'clock that morning in order to get ready for him coming in, took the dog out, did my usual routine, took a shower. 6:30, he wasn't coming for a half hour. I laid back down in bed. Around 7:10,
You say your usual routine.
take a shower, take the dog out, feed the dog, cleaned up the apartment. So I did all of that.
Your usual routine? No, you said you went back to sleep.
Well, he made me take the day off, and that's why I kind of wanted to back up. Originally, back in March.
All right, but you deviated from your regular routine. You went to sleep that day. Go ahead.
He sat in his truck and texted me.
And you saw the text at what time?
About 7:10, I believe. I got up and I was going to go call him because I thought he's late. Nobody's called
and
me.
what happened
Nobody's
when you
knocked on my
reached
door.
out to him? What time was it?
7:20 was my first phone call. I called him
Okay.
17 times in a row. I called his dad 8 times in a row. I texted him probably 20 times saying, we weren't supposed to start until 7 o'clock. Why are you leaving? Turn around, come back. You made me take a day off of work when you promised me that you were going to do it on a Saturday.
And what did he say in response?
He said, it's over and done with. You lose.
What time was that?
Basically, I want to say it was...
Within an hour or two?
No. By 8 o'clock. I mean, I begged him.
Shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I begged him at
Sir,
like 7:15
let me hear from
to
you
turn
on
around and
this,
come back.
what she's saying regarding your arrival, her response, and her plea for you to come back, and you saying it's over.
Well, I showed up early, about 6:45, sent her multiple messages, got no response, so I left. I don't just
What time did you leave?
About 7:20-ish. I don't remember the exact.
And you were to be there once again, what time?
6:45.
7 o'clock. I've got the
that's
text
an odd
messages.
time. You have something to say, 7?
Yes.
Hope
here's-
I'm not catching you in a lie already, sir. Let's move
he's
on.
a liar.
So 7:20, you leave. Did she call you thereafter? How long thereafter did you hear from her?
She left me a voicemail at 7:23.
7:20.
3.
All right, 3 minutes after you left.
Yeah.
Defendant Daniel Glisson is being sued because the plaintiff claims he agreed to paint her home in exchange for a bedroom set. But Daniel never showed up to do the work.
Why didn't you go back?
I was done with it. I was already on my way home.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I'm done with it too. You give her everything, $1,400. You breached the agreement clearly, sir. She called you within 10 minutes. It's unreasonable for you to leave and then say the deal is over just because she's 20 minutes late and you did not follow direction. Even if you did follow direction and go up to that door, it's unreasonable for you to cancel the whole deal because she's late within a reasonable amount of time. It had been hours, then fine, but this is within minutes. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Sorry it didn't work out.
Me too. They do wonderful paintwork. I would just give you one bit of advice. I'm not a millennial. I'm obviously older than you. We don't walk around hanging onto our phones 24/7. If you want to communicate with somebody probably my age, it would be good to pick up the phone and actually call somebody versus texting, because I don't walk around with my phone. I may not see it for 2 hours.
My advice would be don't oversleep.
I did not oversleep.
The
left.
voicemail
You
showing it.
left at 7 o'clock when you were supposed to be there. So don't tell me I overslept.